I knew that Donald Trump's strategists had been working overtime yesterday when I picked up the papers. This was on the morning that Jeff Sessions was to testify before the Senate about his nomination as Attorney General. Well, New York Times and the Washington Post already had been leaked an advance copy of his opening remarks, and so wrote stories based on those quotes in part, one of which was that Sessions vowing to his fellow senators, or he would when he took the stand, that he'd be an independent AG, and that if he needed to stand up to the president who appointed him, he would do that, and he wouldn't do anything illegal and all of that. At the same time, Politico had an advance copy of Susan Collins' prepared remarks, and she's the Maine senator who's probably the most moderate Republican senator, and the fact that she was actually going to introduce Sessions, even though they're ideologically pretty far apart, shows that not just that they're friends, but it shows that Sessions is not so conservative that he can't win over members of his own party from, let's say, a different wing. And USA Today had an interview with Sarah Flores. She had worked on Carly Fiorina's campaign. She's now working with the Trump transition team. And she spoke pretty openly about the fact that they had mock sessions, mock testimony in which Sessions would be asked the most hostile questions they could think of that the Democrats might ask. All this says to me that the Trump team is determined to get a different outcome than 30 years ago. And a story that I covered when the Senate rejected then federal prosecutor Jeff Sessions from Alabama for a federal judgeship, largely because of racially insensitive remarks that he made or was reported to have made and other controversial comments. It was hard to imagine then, not only did he become a senator, that one day he'd be in a position to run the Justice Department. Now, there really isn't any question that barring some unforeseen landmine going off, that Sessions is going to be confirmed. The GOP just needs 51 Senate votes, and he's a member of the world's or the country's most exclusive club. They are usually very loath to vote against one of their own members. So what this is all about is helping to burnish Sessions' image because he's gotten so much bad publicity, both because of what happened in 1986 and because he is very conservative on issues like civil rights and immigration in a way that goes up against the consensus view, I think, in much of the mainstream media, which is that it would be concerning if Sessions, as Attorney General, were to reverse the policies of Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch at the Justice Department. This is why we have elections. So because these hearings are on television, it's not just important getting the votes, but it's important how the nominee comes across. And Sessions probably did himself some good when, under questioning from GOP Chairman Chuck Grassley, he said that he would recuse himself from any legal matter having to do with Hillary Clinton because he had been a high-profile Trump surrogate and had criticized the former First Lady when she was running against his future boss. That's why the coverage here matters. It's not just about what's the number of votes at the end of the day. It's about how a nominee comes across when he is going to be one of the most high-profile members of the Trump cabinet.